And during its first episode back, Jo finally faced her estranged, abusive husband, Dr. Paul Stadler, Matthew Morrison. But before she could even get more than a few words in, she was whisked away by Dr. Weber when he told her Alex needed her. In case you forgot, Jo was on her way to deliver Alex some very important information about his patient when she ran into Paul. So fortunately for her, she found her way out of a potentially dangerous situation, but everyone else was praising Paul as they had no idea about his history with Jo. Dr.Stadler even scrubbed in with Meredith.She, however, knew about his history with Jo, so immediately after she was finished in the operating room, she rushed to share the news with Alex. And that's when Jo ran to them to further tell them how dangerous Paul is. Later, Meredith helped Jo facilitate a divorce with Paul, having them both sign papers before they awkwardly said goodbye to each other. Meredith was there for Jo every step of the way, but even when Paul left, Jo didn't feel like that was enough for her. She also wanted to make sure that Paul's new fiancée, special guest star Bethany Joy Lenz, One Tree Hill, knew everything, so she too could save herself. Jo even handed her her phone number in case of an emergency, but after they parted ways, Jenny, Bethany Joy Lenz, told Paul all about her conversation with Jo. So he returned to the hospital and nearly attacked her in front of both Jenny and Meredith. Jo told Alex she wishes Paul were dead.It seemed like a typical statement for someone in Jo's position to say, but we had no idea she was serious. Or at least it seemed that way when at the end of the episode Meredith found Alex and Jo looking into a hospital room where Paul's body was laying after a hit and run. Are they responsibly? OMG. In other Grey's Anatomy news, Jackson and Maggie nearly hooked up when they ended up in the locker room together without any scrubs, following their separate showers. But just as they were about to get it on, someone burst in with fresh scrubs for them to wear. We're not quite sure why their scrubs were missing to begin with, but we think it had something to do with the hospital being hacked. And speaking of, that was resolved thanks to a trans doctor who had his own experience with hacking.